Hello and welcome to the show. My name is John Richardson and you're listening to Richardson's Rubicon podcast. And basically this is season 2, which is Escape to EverQuest. I've got a special guest on later. It's Rob Hal from Texas. He's going to speak to me about his experiences within EverQuest. But right now I'm just going to launch into my own quick update, if you like. My Druid is parked, key and lock. I've not been playing him for a long period of time at all now. I have instead been putting a lot of effort into Yuramtik, my gnome necromancer, and I've been having a blast, I've got to say. I'm on the P99 green server, and for the last week or so, I've been giving it as many hours as I possibly could, with work and family commitments, of course. And the class itself lends itself well to soloing, so that's quite good. I killed a few things in Akanon just to get me started and out the door. Then I went to the Druid Stone Ring and hunted around there, and there's lots of little spiderlings and stuff, so that was great. I then moved to the Kobold camp, and once I got more ability to pull correctly without utterly dying, I leveled up quite well there. Then I made it over to the windmills, and there's a bit of a hunting ground there as well, which is quite handy, and the guards do come and save you if you get into trouble. So that was quite good. I really found that quite handy, and I made great progress there. And then I'd heard all about the Minotaur camp and people going on about it, so I went there, and it is actually quite good because there are like 4 separate mobs there, Minotaurs, and you can pull them singly quite easily, and they repop quite frequently. And they drop good loot and they give good experience. So that was great. I loved that. Made a great deal of progress there. I was going to go into the Minotaur caves, but it looked as if I might need a group at that point in time, or maybe duo, a small group, and I don't think I would have survived it. But anyway, needless to say, I did rather well in Steamfont Mountains. It was a great zone. Everything was there that I needed. And yeah, it was quite tip-top, that was actually. Really enjoyed it. So I did stay local as a gnome, and that was good. Then the next thing I did was to basically go to East Commonlands tunnels because I wanted to find a spell that I needed. And I'll go into that a bit later, perhaps on another day. But, you know, you do have to transport yourself from pillar to post to get spells in this. On the one hand, I can see why it's good. On the other hand, I can see why it's a pain in the arse, basically, but never mind. But on better news, ended up in Oasis of Mar, and I had my first real grouping session over the last couple of days, not least of which caused by the fact that the server admin, Rogian, I think it's Rogian, Sean Norton. Anyway, he basically announced that there was a 50% XP bonus and a 100% loot bonus over the holiday period, and that ends on the 2nd of January, so get your skates on if you're going to join P99 Green. And I have to say, the server does seem a lot busier. I'm not sure whether it's alts playing or whether it's new people playing, although I have seen a number of posts from purportedly new players, so that's really heartwarming stuff. Yeah, so Oasis of Mar, fantastic zone so far. I think I've just about finished it now. I'm level 22 now, and I did take my time and I did smell the roses, and I've had a great time. Anyway, moving on, we've got Rob now, Rob Hal from Texas, and he's going to give us some brief insights into his game and his experience on the different servers. He played for 5 years in Classic, and he's had a stint on P99 Green, and more lately on a time lock progression server, or is that what it's called? Time lock progression server? Yelinak. Yes. Thank you, Rob. So, how are you doing?
I am doing great. How are you?
Very good, thank you. So tell me, what you're currently up to on your server at the moment?
On Yelinak, I'm playing a froglok rogue named McRibbit, which I really liked that whole name. And
yeah,
I know I like saved the name, and I was just trying to find a good class to play with it. And I kept deleting characters, and I finally picked Rogue, and I love Rogue, and I've been awesome at it. And so I went with Rogue, and I was raiding with a guild that's kind of like, we raid a lot, but we're not in a hurry to like down the latest thing. We just kind of have fun.
Yeah.
So But
So I take it you went all the way from the classic to what sort of expansion are you on now?
well, that guild kind of fell apart recently, so I joined a new guild. But yeah, when I joined the guild, I joined with a cleric, and then quickly switched to the rogue. But yeah, we were in like we were almost to Plains of Power, and we were going back to classic and starting from there, killing the dragons,
Yeah.
all that content. We're clearing everything as we sweep through expansion to expansion. So just for fun, instead of just like rushing through everything, we just enjoyed it, and it was a lot of fun. And I met some great people.
Good. So can you tell us a little bit about the type of server that you're on and, what that means?
Well, I believe Yelinak is just a standard TLP. You start out with classic, normal TLP stuff. Like there's a lot of quality of life I like with the TLPs. It's just was what keeps me there. There are some annoying stuff. There's you're gonna have your botters and your gold farmers, taking advantage and but I mean you just wait either 2 months or 3 months and you get another expansion. And of course everyone, some people just, rush up through all the content and I really like just playing the game and just enjoying, leveling with people.
Cool. So the planes of power with the plane of knowledge, you find that to be a useful quality of life expansion then?
Oh yeah, the Plains of Power is always a better quality of life because you can get pretty much anywhere. You can buy all your stuff in one place. You can buy it in one place and then get to anywhere you want, which kind of makes wizards and druids, their thing is porting, and they're not as useful. They can't really make money off of that as much.
Yeah. I mean, after playing for a few days solid now on P99 Green, which has currently got an XP and loot bonus on, by the way, for the holidays. I was, yeah, which is awesome, by the way. I was, I've been traveling all over the place there's one particular spell I'm after. Oh, what was it? It was Animate Dead.
Mhm.
And it's my sort of skelly warrior. And I just thought, oh yeah, I've got to get that. And I tell you what, it was so difficult to get because it was in Grob, and you can only buy it in Grob. And of course, you could only travel zone to zone. You haven't got planes of knowledge to
Yeah,
book yourself there or anything like that. But there was also the other added thing of you can't go to the plane of knowledge library and just pick up your spell from one of the merchants there. You
yeah,
have to actually get it from a place where you've got rubbish faction. So I had to then roll a troll just so I could drop off a gem. So in a fuel swamp, leave it for the troll,
yeah,
get the troll to pick it up, cash it in, sell it, and then basically buy the spell and drop the spell in the same place in a fuel swamp.
yeah.
So my necromancer could pick it up. What a
Yeah.
faff!
I remember doing stuff like that all the time back in the day and on that server, on the
Yeah,
green server. Because I remember on the green server, I got impatient. I wouldn't wait for my brother to help me do a switch over. I
yeah.
just dropped all these really great items in a spot and went link dead, and I couldn't get back in time to get the stuff.
Oh no! What,
So
did you lose it?
yeah, I lost whatever stuff I had. It wasn't like a fungi tunic, but and I'll tell you, back in the
Oh
day,
no!
I did this with a fungi tunic. I dropped it to only to pick it up with another character, and I always succeeded because I guess I was impatient. But I remember doing that.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for the quality of life improvements, I think.
Yeah,
I think there's also a lot to be said for uh, I don't know, the added realism of not being able to click a book. There's got to be a happy middle ground somewhere, I think, and I'm
yeah,
wondering if one of the servers will finally get it, like perhaps Qualm. Who knows?
yeah. I
No.
think that's that type of stuff is what makes classic classic, and
Mm.
people really like that classic, and people also like TLP Classic within
Mm.
changes.
Yeah. So, I mean, I must admit, I went on to Qualm and sort of logged on to see what that looked like, and the graphics improvements they're okay. I was in Akanon and had a look around there, and I'm not too sure I liked the graphics improvements. I preferred the old version, but I don't know whether it was just because I was more familiar with the old version or naturally averse to the new ones. I have no idea. But anyway, it just didn't feel right for me. But
Hmm.
I might give it a go and see what that is like. But I'm quite happy at the moment on P99 green. So again, though, the future of P99 green seems to be not uncertain. I think that's unfair to say, but there's a sort of question mark over what's going to happen when a supposed server merge is going to take place between blue and green, and then perhaps a new green server launching, or what? I've got no idea. But I mean, you've got a similar thing with the future of your server, haven't you? Or you've got questions over that.
Well, yeah, like typically for TLPs, like January, February, March, in May, they always release a new TLP. So
Mm.
that's kind of like what people expect. That's what people are waiting for. That's what I'm waiting for. And you just kind of, wait for the new year and see what they announce. Like it could be like a normal server. It could be they can have special rules. Like Oakwin had these first to engage system implemented. Like I guess kind of like World of Warcraft had that way back in the day, and just now they're integrating that and like keeping your all your gear account bound so that you can basically get anything, any piece of loot on one character and you can transfer it to another character. So it
That's
makes
really handy.
it very alt friendly.
Yeah,
I think there's another thing with Oakland, but I can't remember exactly what it was. That was the change, but I really wanted to play on Oakland, and I did play on Oakland. I played. I got a monk to 50, but I didn't really have any. I know anybody there, so I kind of just came back to Yelinak and kept raiding and doing the progression there.
yeah. So you've obviously played a lot of different servers. I mean, obviously, you played the original EverQuest, and you did that for 5 years. You had a stint on Green, P99 Green, and this TLP server. So, which, if you were going to be forced to say which one's your favorite, which one would be your favorite, and why would that be?
My favorite's definitely Yelinak. I've spent a year and a half straight here. I've only been in a few guilds, and one
Yeah,
guild I got to basically kind of hardcore raid and try to, I guess, do things as fast as you know as you can on the server and kind of be number one for a little bit.
yeah,
And I enjoyed that, and I learned a lot, but it wasn't everything. And then I joined another guild that just takes things easy, and I met some good people that send me whispers and care about just getting to
that's
know you,
nice.
making sure you're there and you're okay, and
That's really nice. I get this guild guilt. I don't know how to describe it, but basically, on one of my alts, if you like, I've joined the group just because I wanted some, I don't know, social company. Yeah,
yeah,
whilst
yeah.
playing, because that's obviously really, really important, or at least it is to me. And I joined it, and there's not a lot happening in their Discord channel, in the guild channel. Admittedly, I'm not really much in the guild channel now because I'm spending more time on my necromancer. But in the Discord channel, there's nothing really. And I do a who all to find out who's online. Hardly anyone's online. And yet I've got this sort of loyalty towards the guild that I'm somehow bound to it, and I can't really leave, join another guild. I mean, is that crazy or what?
I would say that's crazy. Like I mean, we're pretty different on that because like I'll join a guild to try it out.
Yeah,
If it seems like it's a ghost town, on to the next guild. You're not really gonna know. what's the perfect guild for you. You just got to try it out, and then eventually you will hear, like, if a guild has what you want, you might, progress towards it. Otherwise, you just got to try it out. It's hit or miss.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm officially crazy. Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, yeah, you are. Yeah, I'm not a doctor. I'd be official.
Cool. So, right, you mentioned raiding a bit. Do you want to go over some of the main differences?
Oh yeah, one of the big differences is for TLPs, they have instancing. So if Nagafin or Vox isn't up on your server you can once a week you can create lockout and create an instance, and just you get that instance to yourself, and it'll have the boss there that your guild can raid, and you get the same loot, and you don't have to compete with anybody. That's one of the greatest things.
Yeah.
So you'll always be able to do that raiding content without worrying about someone else, getting it before you can.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, as we were chatting off air, basically, for want of better purposes, I'm not as experienced on raiding as you are. I mean, I just took place in the Lord Nagafan. That was ages and ages ago, and I think we did some Thurgoden stuff, but that was donkeys ago, and there was never really any issue then. But on P99 Green, I hear it's a different story altogether, and there's like a queuing system of some sorts that I'm not altogether clear on. So perhaps someone can get in touch and talk to us about the raid queuing system that's on P99 Green or on or the blue server or whatever. So yeah, I'm not all together, but instancing sounds like another good idea, really, to
Yeah.
me. Hmm.
And it allows you to just, like, for open world stuff, you can just go free for all. You don't really have to make this queuing system. You don't have to organize that, because everybody gets their shot at the boss. I remember doing the queuing system back in actual classic, because we had clerics. We want to get our clerics their epics, and we needed this specific boss, I believe, the Nagafin offspawn
Yeah.
to get a piece for that epic. And
Yeah, I remember doing that.
so we don't want just one guild hoarding it. We want to share that, and we make that queuing system and make sure everyone does it so that everybody can get what they need. Because cleric epics are important. I actually had on my cleric his epic, and some fights just constantly spamming that, and it was very fun fight and very helpful.
Yeah, good. Excellent. So I think what we'll do is we'll round this up now. So have you got anything more to say in closing on the difference between the servers at all in your current experience?
No, I'm just hopeful to talk more later. I definitely got more to talk about for when it comes to EverQuest.
I know there's tons to talk about. I just wanted this as a sort of introductory sort of episode into our chats. So we'll see how that goes. I think it's been great so far. So thank you, Rob, and I wish you all the best in game.
All right, thanks, John. Have a good one.
So that's Rob Hal, and thank you very much for taking part, Rob. I'm sure we'll be speaking again soon. Thank you, thank you. We've got another guest scheduled to come on as well, speaking about their experience, and hopefully they will join me on Sunday, I think it is, where I'll be interviewing them and shortly bring out a new podcast straight after that. So if you want to get in touch, by all means, please do. You can email me at john@richardsonsrubicon.com, and you can catch me in-game on P99 Green server, Yuramtik. And I hope to hear from you soon, and I'll just leave you with this very quick warning. It's nearly January the 2nd, and the XP bonus will be turned off. So get yourself on P99 Green. See you later, happy holidays, and happy Twixmas. Bye.